Hi there, I am Nathan Jones from In the Bag, and we are at home with Jones. Today we've got a special guest, Dr. Harry, who is from Truth, the co-founder of Truth Naturals and Truth Origins. Harry, thank you for joining us and welcome.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure to be here. Home with Jones. Who would have thought it?
That's it. All right, Doctor. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and about Truth.
Right. Well, I don't want to bore any of your audience. They're used to obviously way more exciting topics than what doctors have to say. But I guess my relevant background, apart from having co-founded Truth with a good friend of mine, Trent Scanlon, who himself is living in London, nearby to you, Nathan. My relevant background is I'm a scientist by training. I did my master's and PhD in nutrition and brain development and the effect of omega-3 fatty acids on things like body weight and blood pressure. I went on to study medicine, trained as a GP, worked as a GP, and then developed a special interest in I guess improving our health and wellness and athletic performance through dietary and other interventions. About 4 years ago, Trent and I founded Truth because we felt there was a big gap we're both very interested and enthusiastic consumers of anything that will improve our lives and performance. But as you would know, there's a lot of bad information out there, a lot of inaccurate information. And we saw an opportunity not only to bring good products to market, but also bring information that was credible and relevant, and talk about the studies that sort of stand behind some of the supplements and so forth. Because there's millions of supplements out there, but the reality is not that many of them have substantial scientific proof behind them. So that's why we created Truth, and things are going well.
Great. I mean, that's pretty comprehensive, like your experience and stuff, because that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get, is what not only somebody from Truth, but somebody that knows what they're talking about, that could explain stuff a lot better than I can. Do you know what I mean? I can say, it's good. But hopefully we can delve a little bit deeper and just understand a little bit more about some of the things out there on the market and why we take it. That leads me on to my first question, which is, in your opinion, what are the top 3 supplements out there that we can take?
Well, I guess it really, it's a big question. I'll try and give it a sensible answer. A lot of supplements, let's sort of break it down, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
There's, one of the problems is that the so-called Western diet is not really all that healthy and lacks a lot of pretty important nutrients. And therefore, there are supplements that can fill in the gaps of an inadequate diet. So I would like to think there's sort of 2 types of supplement. There's supplements that may fill a shortfall in our dietary intake. And then there are supplements which I consider to be a bit more exciting, which are possibly and probably active as treating some sort of problem that we as humans experience, be it insomnia, inflammation, cancer even. So I guess talking about the first category, and I know you've asked me to keep it to 3, I'll try. But if you don't eat enough, if you don't eat enough fresh fruit and vegetables, well, you're going to need to get vitamin C, for instance, because we know it's important for immune function and healing and skin and so forth. So, that's a really good reason to take vitamin C. If your intake of fresh fruit and vegetables is just not what it should be, and that's, I don't cast judgment on people. We're all living crazy lives now, even crazier in the last 12 months. And sometimes the last thing on our mind is what we're eating. All right. We just want to get through the next day. I've said before elsewhere, I had a really tough time with lockdown here in Australia. I know you guys are in the midst of it now. And yeah, sometimes we don't eat what we should. And so that's where supplements can fit in. So I've mentioned vitamin C and why that's important. Truth sells a product called Shield, which is predominantly vitamin C and fills that gap. There it is.
Oh, yeah, man. I use it myself, and it's good.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and you know what, tastes all right too. so that's the first thing. The second thing that, as I mentioned, I did my master's and PhD in the field of omega-3 fatty acids. Well, we know that these are really important nutrients for heart function, brain development, visual function, and so forth. And we also know that the best source of them is fish. And, I remember, when I was doing my master's and writing articles saying, all you need is sort of 3 or 4 fish meals a week and you'll get all the omega-3 fatty acids. And now I think, well, what the fuck? Impossible to get 4 fish meals a week. No one's going to do that. And so your options are fish oil capsules, or better still, what we've come up with, which is a plant-based source of omega-3 fatty acids. We call it Focus. I think it's a great product because, at least you'll get some omega-3 fatty acids into your body without the need for eating fish. So I think that's a good one. And then the other one I want to talk about in terms of where we're often deficient, you guys especially, is vitamin D. So vitamin D, it basically just has one job. I mean, it's got a few jobs in the body, but the main job is to help us absorb calcium. If we don't have enough vitamin D, then we have to get the calcium from somewhere else, and that is usually our bones. So a deficiency of vitamin D very quickly translates to weak bones, brittle bones, osteoporosis. Now, what's the main source of vitamin D? Well, we make it when we're exposed to sunshine. You guys in England don't get enough sunshine as it is. If you're locked down, you're getting even less. Sure. If your sport is mixed martial arts, then your recreation time is indoors. So you're predisposed just by lifestyle to vitamin D deficiency. We don't need that much time in the sun, but we need enough. And it could be, I don't know, hours a week in winter time. So we came up with a product, again, plant-based. It's a spray, tastes pretty good, minty spray, 7 pumps of that, and you've got the daily dose of vitamin D. So I think, again, I hope I'm sort of conveying the theme is these particular supplements are not rocket science. We need this stuff to live healthily. And if you don't get enough of it, you'll have problems. So that side of our business is dedicated just to, filling in the gaps in our nutrition or in our lifestyle. And then, as I said, we've got what I consider the other side, which is active supplements. And I think the main one there is curcumin. You will have heard of curcumin or turmeric, which is the plant that curcumin is extracted from. Turmeric's been around, obviously, thousands of years, used in cooking, et cetera, that the Indian cooking has a lot of turmeric in it, and it's thought to have many anti-disease properties. The problem with turmeric is it's really hard to absorb into your body. Mm-hmm. So you could eat a mountain of turmeric, and maybe all of it will go through you, and you won't get any of the active ingredient curcumin. So we concentrated on developing a curcumin product, which we call Vitality, which is water soluble, so absorbed into the body, and then can thereon sort of exert its benefit. And the benefit of curcumin is so exciting. Again, I like to talk to the research, because we're called Truth, and we don't want to have any bullshit supplements. We want stuff that's got scientific evidence. And there have literally been thousands and thousands of scientific studies using curcumin. And I'll just say this: almost all of the studies are centered in around either inflammation and the effect of curcumin on inflammation, which is to reduce it, or cancer. Now, I'm not allowed to write about this stuff because there are certain restrictions on food supplement companies, but I am allowed to tell you that there have been thousands of studies on the effect of curcumin on cancer cells, and it is effective in killing certain cancer cells, such as breast cancer. So I'm super excited about our curcumin. I mean, any curcumin, be honest, but ours is bioavailable. It's absorbed into the body, and therefore it's got a chance of getting where it needs to be. So, that's my, I know it's not 3, but that's my sort of top list. Yeah, 4. And of course we haven't talked about CBD, cannabidiol, which is my 5th and one of my favorites. Yeah.
Cool. I mean,
do you want me to talk about CBD or?
Yeah. Well, let's just quickly sum up those the top 3 vitamins. So you had vitamin D in there. You have vitamin C.
Yep.
And
yep.
the omega
Omegas. Yep.
acids. And actually, can I just say this? For years, my mum's been banging on at me. Take this, take that. I was like, Mum, just what I mean. But you've just backed her up there. You know what I mean? So I'll say it on record. Okay, Mum, I'll take it. You know what I mean? But
you got to listen to your mum, man.
I have been taking the Vitality, Shield, and Focus that Truth Origins do, and and that within those it gives me my daily recommendations. So is it just a few pumps? What was it? 6 pumps, 8 pumps?
Yeah. So again, I think it's kind of different depending on who you are. We recommend for those products, we recommend 6 pumps a day into a little bit of water, or into juice or tea, coffee, your smoothie, what have you, or neat. I've tried it every which way. I take more than that, but I think my requirements are higher because of what I do for fun. And so I would say between 6 and 12. I even know some people taking 18, but let's say 6 to 12 for most people, depending on their level of activity, would be my recommendation.
Cool. And that's the same for the curcumin as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, curcumin's the one. That's 12 pumps of that a day, and I definitely feel that my joints are less achy. I'm 50. I'm 50, mate. Unlike you, I'm 50, and I do different high intensity exercise than what you do. I don't sort of get beaten around, but it feels like it.
I don't get beaten around. I do the beat.
I know. You get beaten around if you tie one arm behind your back.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say that. I don't. I don't mean that.
No, but on a serious note, I feel the benefits of the anti-inflammation, because it is high impact. The training that I do day in, day out, and especially when I've had a tough day, or say I'm in fight camp, that just helps to recover, and I wake up feeling, you know, a bit fresher, you know. So it's definitely one step since I've started taking it, that I am definitely going to continue doing it. I'm not just saying it because I'm talking to you. You know, I would advocate that to everybody, but it's good to get your back in and to explain why, you know. And it's not just for the athlete, for the reason that you're giving, it's for the everyday person that it's a good supplement to take.
Well, but, you know, if I'm honest, you know, our sort of best customer is a non-athlete that's got joint pain. Like that's who's buying our supplements. They're people sort of anywhere between, I guess, 35 and, I'm not saying people outside this range shouldn't try it, but I'm telling you, the people that are attracted the most to our products are, generally speaking, you know, 35, 40, right up to 70s, because everyday people, you don't have to, you know, roll with Mr. Bag and Tag to feel achy in the morning. You know, these people, like myself, would otherwise be pretty creaky in the morning. And as you've said, I just feel better. It doesn't take all the pain away. That's unrealistic. It's not. We're not talking about morphine. This is a supplement, right? And it's subtle. And the other thing to say is, I don't know about you, but I notice if I don't take it, it's more, you know, if I've forgotten to take it, or I've gone away, which doesn't happen often anymore, but go away and you forget to take it, and then you haven't had it for a week. Then I just notice I'm aching. I go, oh, that's it. I haven't been taking curcumin. So that's I think, you know, what it's doing predominantly in most people, reducing inflammation, which could occur anywhere, you know, from your gut to your joints, you know, your muscles, all suffer inflammation, and it could be a benefit. But as I said before, what I'm super interested in is its ability to kill cancer cells. That research is still going, obviously. I can't say categorically either way, you know, this is going to be a fundamental part of cancer treatment in the future or preventing cancer, but it certainly looks that way. Cool.
And are all these like suitable for vegetarians and vegans?
Well, as it happens, we've got a vegan on our team. Our creative director is himself a vegan, and all of our products, every single one of them, is vegan friendly. So even the omega-3 fatty acids, they're all plant-based. There's no synthetic chemicals. So that's kind of the art and the magic of what we're doing, I think. That's not to say that, you know, every product we ever produce from here on in will be vegan friendly, but certainly all the ones that we sell now are.
For sure. Okay. Well, no, it's good to know. I mean, I'm not, so I'll eat anything, you know, but
right.
It's good for everybody else out there listening and wondering, you know. So no, that's
totally
good to know. So yeah, no, it brings us on to the other thing, you know. The last like 2-3 years, I've been seeing in the media a lot more, and you know, other shops and whatever. Everyone's buzzing about CBD, you know.
Yeah.
No pun intended there, but no, everybody's about CBD. So yeah, bring us up to speed, like what it is and out, please.
I'd be happy to. I guess just first an observation, right? Look at the US and medicinal cannabis and its decriminalization of cannabis. The country has just gone bananas to get their hands on this plant, right? Now, we know cannabis has multiple benefits, right? As a drug, it's used recreationally. But because of the demonization of cannabis in the, I don't know, I guess it was the 40s through to the 70s, 80s, who knows? Because it was demonized, it just stunted all of the research that was being done or could have been done or would have been done on the benefit of certain components of cannabis that could be used as medicinal treatments. So we are officially 50 years behind where we should be, right, in terms of our understanding of what the benefit of hemp or cannabis is. What we do know is that there's a compound within cannabis called cannabidiol, CBD oil for short. Now, CBD oil is not THC, which is the component of cannabis that gets you high. CBD is a non-psychoactive component of cannabis or hemp, which is to say it doesn't get you high, but it does work in the brain. And for your listeners' benefit, the way that CBD oil really came into the spotlight is it was found to be effective in treating kids with epileptic seizures that were not being controlled by any other means. Mm-hmm. So these are kids that were getting things like 10 different drugs, shocks, brain implants, brain stimulation, all that sort of stuff. Nothing would stop them fitting except for CBD oil. Now, don't get me wrong, it didn't cure all of them, but there were a group of kids that when given CBD stopped having seizures completely. So everyone just went, wow, how is that working, right? And it's obviously working in the brain. We know that there's parts of the brain that are sensitive to CBD, and this has gone on to be known as the endocannabinoid system, which is very complicated, probably too complicated for me, and certainly beyond the scope of our discussion. But it shouldn't be surprising then when I tell you that some of the purported benefits of CBD are reduced anxiety. And it's being investigated for things like schizophrenia and for depression. So all, again, to do with the brain, conditions to do with the brain. We certainly have very strong reports that it is effective in improving sleep. Why? Because it stops people ruminating. So when you can't sleep and your mind, and it feels like your mind's running a million miles an hour, and you've got this thought and that thought and the next thought, and you've got that feeling that it's your thinking that's keeping you awake. Well, CBD is believed to stop that from happening or reduce that, and so we fall asleep faster and we stay asleep. And then, yeah.
So I was just going to say, and sleep's like really important as well as your diet, and exercise. It's sleep. That's the third thing. That's brings it all together. Yeah. So,
well, you as an athlete would know better than anyone. If I said to you, you got a big fight next day, I'm only going to let you have 2 hours sleep, right? You think about it. I'm only going to let you have 2 hours sleep. The reality is you're just as fit the next day, okay? You're just as fit, you're just as strong, your muscles are just as taut, your skills are you haven't lost your skills in 24 hours, but how are you going to go with 2 hours sleep, right? We're a mess. We know sleep's super important for recovery and resetting and for clarity of mind and all that stuff, as well as physical performance. So yeah, sleep absolutely. And I think it's probably the reason that most of our customers buy that and anxiety, would be the top two reasons that people buy CBD. Again, it's not, it's not Valium. It doesn't put you to sleep, in 2 seconds. It's subtle. All right. And, but again, these different people have gone.
Sorry, there's a bit of delay there. I've been taking it, and like you're saying, it helps me to get to sleep. And what I've noticed with it, why I like it, is when I wake up the next day, I'm fresh. I don't feel groggy. Yeah. I don't feel, the hard training as much because I've had time to sleep. My body's had a little bit more time to recover, and it sets me up for the next day. So that's why I'm an advocate for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Well, I'm the same. I mean, it's so important. So I'm a cyclist, and train 15 hours a week, sometimes more. If I don't get enough sleep, I'm a wreck, and CBD is certainly very helpful.
For sure. So say, all right, let's just play, I don't know, Wonderland here. If you were stranded on a desert island, what one true supplement would you take, and why?
Yeah. Well, there'd be no point sort of having Viagra. I mean, you didn't say the conditions. You didn't say the conditions of the desert. Is it by myself? No, I'm kidding.
It's sunny, all right? There's black as well.
No. Oh, look. Okay. Yeah, it would be. It'd have to be curcumin, because it'd have to be curcumin, which is our Vitality, because it's the most, well, assuming my diet is good, because I'm going to be fishing and eating coconuts and what have you. I think the one that offers the most promise, the one that could just be the home run for plant-based health, and a food supplement that almost works like a drug. It's got to be Vitality. It's got to be that one. And we're always working to improve this, Dave. By the way, this is our third version of it. We're improving it all the time. What we're trying to do is get the curcumin particle size smaller and smaller and smaller, so more and more and more of it gets into the body and gets into the places that matter. We'll never stop trying to improve it. And no, it's a really exciting supplement. That being said, and I know you told me I've got to pick one, but we only just a few months ago released Immunity. It should be pretty obvious why we quickly created this product. It's full of all sorts of stuff that, again, there's a million things out there that are supposedly help immunity. We had to pick the 2 or 3 ingredients that, there was some science behind it. So we produced our immunity product, and your listeners should take a look at that. But as I said, Vitality, that's my desert island. That's my desert island product.
Oh, fair play. I mean, thank you for your time, Dr. Harry. Definitely has been informational for myself and for everybody out there. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to put when this comes out, I'm going to put the links as well for the websites and links to the products and stuff, so everybody else can benefit from that information. I could talk to you all day long. So many more questions, but I think for what we've covered is a good bit for us to digest on and stuff. So
and of course, I mean, I'm thrilled to be on your podcast. Big fan of yours, and when I'm in the UK, of course, I come and see you train and see you fight, and of course we're both dear friends to Trent, who we should shout out to. He's just had a baby boy. Well, he hasn't, but his beautiful wife Alina has. And yeah, wish you and the guys at the gym and everyone in the UK. My thoughts are with you. I know what a ball breaker it is in lockdown. So yep, just stay strong, and I'll talk to you again another time.
Thank you very much, Urs.